This is Lifted, a podcast by women for women. I created this podcast in order to showcase the strength women bring to the table on a day-to-day basis. Women in business, women in employed roles, women in athletic and sports capacities, women in motherhood and parenting, and even women as partners in relationships. It is clear to see that when women come together to support each other, they create such a strong force and help each other live their best lives and show up as their highest selves in this roller coaster called life. I also showcase and highlight the strength in women undertaking bodybuilding as a sport, the mental resilience and discipline required to get oneself through competition prep, and also what it takes to take your body through such an extreme sport by sharing experiences of different athletes in the sport. Having this platform to talk about all these things is important to me because based on personal experience, it was the key to unlocking my true potential, and by passing this on, it might inspire you to do the same in a different or similar capacity. This is Lifted, a podcast to lift you up, not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally too, by talking about different ways of dealing with daily challenges we all face. I am your host, Carol West, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Sisterhood. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Lifted. On today's episode, I am solely going to be focusing on tips and strategies to help you navigate your way around what life throws at us on a day-to-day basis. So if you're faced with things like overwhelm, anxiety, stress, and just the overall day-to-day living gets on top of you and you're struggling to cope with how to handle everything, today's episode might be useful to you because I've got a few things that I can talk you through in terms of trying to get you into a better headspace and so you can manage your day-to-day living a bit better and also cope with the stresses that life brings us, because let's be honest, we're not going to get away with just having a stress-free life all day, every day. Unexpected things happen, things may not work out as you anticipate sometimes, or tragic things can happen to us, and it's hard to navigate our way around life on a daily basis without sometimes feeling like we are at the breaking point. So today's episode, I want to talk about ways to help you cope with these eventualities, shall we call them that. It's very much inspired by a session I have attended, and I did find that it did help me a lot. And if you can't find any of these sessions to go to, it's very beneficial, even though at first it's daunting and you might think like it's something that's a bit woo-woo, or it's not really up your street, or it's not something that you would see yourself doing. If you throw yourself in it and have an open mind about it, you'll be surprised how good you feel afterwards if you just allow yourself to have an open mind. So the sessions I'm talking about is a session that one of the guests I've interviewed on the pod here on Lifted, Anastasia, did advertise on her Instagram page something she calls a sister circle. And I was quite intrigued because everything that it was expressing and talking about were things that I'm very much aligned to at this point in my life. Currently, I am very much on the side of doing things like meditation, things like relaxation techniques to help clear your mind and to open up your mind also, so that you can be more creative, you can be more productive, you can be more energized, and basically live life in better terms, or to make you feel like you can get through quite a lot of things. Sometimes we just need something to help clear our heads, really, and therefore I found my way into things like meditation and relaxation techniques and things like manifestation and all this, and it's very much in alignment with how I'm living my life currently. So when I saw that advertised on Instagram on her page, it's something that I was very much keen on, and I had the honor of attending this session, and it was just beautiful. It really was. The atmosphere, how she presented everything, from the ambience that she created with the candles and, just nice, soothing music in the background. And then you've got things like aromatherapy oils, and they just smell divine. Absolutely beautiful. And you don't realize how strong your sense of smell is until you can actually inhale something that smells so beautiful, and it literally permeates through every bit of you. Literally, it's something phenomenal. But yeah, it has inspired me to do today's episode, because I feel like a lot of people could benefit from stuff like this. And if you can't find a way of getting yourself into one of these things, it's very easy to literally just Google anything these days, and you'll get all the answers that you need. But sometimes it helps if you hear it from somebody who's done it and who's experienced something they've got out of these sessions, things like this sister circle. But it really doesn't have to be you even making the effort of getting out of your house to go to these sessions, although it does help having like-minded people around and feeding off other people's energy. It also just adds on to what is a beautiful experience, in my view. So, having said that, I'm just going to talk about the things that we went through in that session. And what I got out of that session really was the fact that for a lot of us, we might be at a point in our lives where we very much feel like we are stuck in a place where our bodies are constantly in a fight or flee mode, to a point that you're so used to running on autopilot, you don't actually recognize that. And what happens is it builds up within us, and it has to come out somewhere. And unfortunately, the way it comes out sometimes isn't the most healthy way, and it's not the best. It doesn't allow us to be our best selves or our higher selves. We tend to do things that are not very nice, because it does have to come out somewhere. And if you're not practicing things like meditation, things like yoga, you are literally just harboring these feelings inside, and they're festering and they're growing and growing, and there's only so much the body can take, and it has to come out somewhere. So that's what I mean when I say it comes out sometimes in aggression, it comes out sometimes in depression, it comes out in anxiety and panic attacks, because somehow the body has to get rid of this energy, which is pent up inside us, and we don't actually realize, because we're so much used to life being busy, and just you carry on taking on things, and you take them on and you take them on, and before you realize that you're actually at breaking point, you're too far gone. So it is important, I feel, for us to sometimes take a minute and take a breath and just sit down with ourselves and reflect on how to go about trying to offload some of these feelings. So I'm just going to talk you through some of the things that you can do. So obviously I've mentioned yoga, and I've mentioned meditation there. Those are the main things that I find are quite easy to do, and quite, they give you a massive benefit. And the other thing also is things like breathing techniques to help with relaxation and to clear your mind. But again, this is something that you can do as a guided thing, one of these things that you can download online, and you can download different apps to help you with breathing exercises to help you regulate your breathing, and to help you be able to process things like panic attacks and anxiety attacks when it gets really bad. And so it's in this day and age, we're very lucky, because it's only a tap away, and you can access all these things. So having said that, I'm just going to talk you through what the benefits of meditation are. And even if you just spend a few minutes doing meditation, it can really help restore your calm and inner peace, which is what a lot of us need. I think a lot of us just go through life in strife, and just you're constantly battling inwardly. It feels like you're constantly fighting, whether it's your thoughts, whether it's your feelings, whether it's how to express yourself, whether it's, things can get on top of you, and you're constantly, you might feel like you're constantly on the verge of a breakdown, literally, but you somehow just carry on going. And this is where it's really important, as I say, to take a step back and always have in mind, just take at least one day a week where you can have a meeting with yourself. I put it that way. You sit down with yourself and just go through the week and the things that you've managed to achieve, the things that you've done well, and you congratulate yourself for those things. And then look at the things that you could improve on without putting too much pressure on yourself, because life is hard enough as it is. You don't really want to be putting any more pressure on yourself than you already are going through. So in a way that you can actually handle by compartmentalizing things, by setting a plan in place where you can break things down into smaller tasks so that everything that just doesn't get on top of you at the end of it. You really need to prioritize you, because a broken you is no good for anybody. Your children, your partner, your family, your siblings. Nobody will get anything out of you if you're broken. They'd have to start taking care of you. And then that in itself makes you feel bad, because you don't want to be a burden to anybody. So it's a vicious cycle if you think about it. And we can help ourselves by applying these self-help strategies that can help us cope a bit better with the day-to-day stresses of life. So meditation is big. It's something that you have to practice. It's something that you may struggle with when you start off, if you've never done it before. As you would with anything new, you have to learn how to do it. You have to keep trying. And even for those who've done meditation for a long time, they still find days where they struggle with it. But it's not really about perfection at all. It's about putting in place that time for you to go inward and reflect on how life has been and how life has gone, and what things you can do different and what things you have done well, and recognizing that there's things to celebrate about, as much as things may not be going right at any given moment in your life. So meditation can give you a sense of calm, peace and balance that can benefit both your emotional well-being and your overall health. And you can also use it to relax and cope with daily stresses by refocusing your attention on something that's calming. So the meditation in itself helps you to just achieve some calm, some peace within you, which is really important for your mental health, really. And it is important to help restore yourself. So you're kind of clearing your head so that there's space for you to take on more, because as I've said before, and it's a saying that I really like using, you can't pour out of an empty cup. You always have to fill your cup first before you fill others. Even if you think about, like, when we're all going away on holidays, and that bit where they demonstrate and in case of any eventualities what you need to do when something, when the plane's going to crash or something like that. Nobody wants to think about that side of things, but yeah, the first thing they tell you is you have to put your own mask on first before you help anybody else. And that's it's a good analogy to use, because if you think about it, you can't help other people when you're dying. You have to be able to get yourself to a state where you're fit enough to help other people. So in relation to that, you really do have to think about yourself first. It's not being selfish, and it's not you thinking about other people, because let's face it, sometimes all we do is think about other people and put other people first. But I think it is important to also stop and put ourselves first, because we can't help others if we're broken. And that's the point that I really want to drive home today. You must fill your cup first before you even attempt to help anybody else. And if you're running on empty, you need to take a break. Put your foot on the brakes, have time out, tend to yourself first, because then you'll be a better human being to those other people that you're looking after. And it doesn't have to be something extremely complicated. You only probably just need to take 15 minutes out of your day, whether it's at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day, or even in the middle of the day, if that suits your lifestyle best, to practice a bit of meditation, to bring you in a calm sense of peace, and restore your inner peace, so that you can be a better human being to other people. So amongst other benefits of meditation, it just helps you gain a new perspective on stressful situations. So when you take that time out, and you go within yourself, and you get that calm sense, and relax completely, you can see things from a different perspective, and it might not be that bad once you do that. But when you're right in the middle of it and everything feels like it's falling down, it's very hard to actually focus on anything positive. And at that moment in time, you just need to find a way to step out of the situation, go within yourself, and find a way of restoring that peace, that inner peace, so that you can have a new perspective on the situation that you're handling or going through. But meditation can also build skills to help you manage stress. So the more you practice meditation, the better you are at trying to take yourselves out of a stressful situation, because you can always step away and get that inner peace before you go back into things again. And it also helps increase self-awareness. So you're more self-aware, and you can see how you as a person relates to other people, and how you see yourself, and what you think about yourself, and how you feel about yourself. It really gives you that in-depth perspective on you as a person. So it is big, meditation, and it's really important to make time to practice meditation on our day-to-day lives. It's very helpful. It helps you focus on the present as well, because when you're in that state where you're just practicing, or you're focusing on your breathing, nothing else matters. You go within yourself, and you can just hold that space within you. And for those few minutes, you can shut the world out, and it can just be you. And if you can manage to hold your thoughts as well. And it's hard though, because when you're starting off, a lot of people do find that you struggle because your mind wants to wander, and that's something that you really have to work towards, trying to bring it back every time it wanders off. And some people who've done it a long time still do get that. It's not like something that just comes. It's something that you constantly have to work on. So really, there is no such thing as perfect meditating. You have to just work at it, and eventually you will get to a point where you feel like it's coming more easily, but you will still get days where your mind just wants to wander off. But the thing to remember is you always have to be aware of it when it's wandering off, and try and bring it back into focusing on the present, and focusing on you. Meditation also helps reduce negative emotions, because, as I say, once you're in that state of not thinking about anything other than focusing on your breathing, and being aware of yourself, and embracing your inner calm, you eradicate the negative emotions, and you make space for a more positive you, and somebody who sees things in better light, rather than it's doom and gloom and everything is not great. It does help with reducing the negative emotions. But also, the other thing that meditation does is increase imagination and creativity. So when you're in that space of just zoning in on yourself, you can find that you get ideas whilst in that state, or your creative mind comes to play, and all of a sudden maybe something that you'd been stuck on for ages and you couldn't find an answer to can come to you in those moments. So again, there's quite a lot of benefits for doing this. It also helps to lower your resting heart rate, because you're in a calm, relaxed mood, and your body is completely relaxed, which in turn lowers your resting heart rate, which is good for everyone, because we don't really want your heart rate to be extremely high all the time. Your blood pressure goes up and you're at risk of getting a heart attack, and we don't want that. So yeah, it's quite important for us to always be able to make time to practice things that are helping us be wholesome and be better versions of ourselves, really. So in terms of the types of meditation, meditation in itself is a term used to express different ways of achieving a state of being relaxed. There are many types of meditation and relaxation techniques that have the meditation components in them, but they all share the same goal of achieving inner peace. So it doesn't really matter what sort of meditation you go for or what you look for. The aim of all of them really is to achieve that sense of calm and inner peace, which is what we all want to help us cope with day-to-day stresses. So there are different ways to meditate. So if you are new to meditation and you want to try it out, there's different ones, and as I say, there's loads of apps that you can download that will take you through the different types of meditation, and you can always just Google them, and most are free. So it doesn't even have to cost you anything. You get like a type of meditation and you give yourself 15 minutes, although to start off, you might want to do shorter meditation times. So just to keep your mind focused a bit more, rather than go into a long meditation session, because if you're not used to working within yourself, it's harder when you start, because your mind constantly just wants to veer off, and you can find that you really struggle switching off. So to start off, I would suggest trying just like a short meditation, 5 minutes maybe, and work your way up as you go along. So we've got a guided meditation, and this is like, sometimes it's like imagery or visualization used to help you create or form mental images of places or situations that you find relaxing, and that in itself can come a long way towards getting you into a relaxed state. If you think about a place that exudes peace and calmness and serenity, it does translate inwardly and helps you to be peaceful and calm as well. You will try and use as many senses as possible when doing this. It can be smells or sounds or even textures, but you will have somebody talking you through this sort of meditation. So that's why it's called guided meditation. There is somebody talking you through the different scenarios. So there will be describing the seaside, or maybe a forest, a rainforest sort of scenario, and describe every texture of every leaf, and if there's a water droplet, or if there's rain, they'll make sounds of the rain, or they do different stuff to help create that picture, so that you create that image in your head and it takes you to a place, and that place is supposed to be a calm, relaxing place for you to identify with and to bring you that inner peace, if you will. So that's the guided meditation. We have mantra meditation as well. And in this type of meditation, you silently repeat a calming word, thought, or phrase to prevent distracting your thoughts. So, I mentioned your mind wanders off every so often, especially if you're new to meditation. This sort of meditation, as soon as you feel your mind wandering off, you have to repeat this word or phrase, also known as a mantra, so that it triggers your brain to remember, we're supposed to not be going that way, we need to be this way, and it just brings you back into the meditative state that you're supposed to be in, to help you along. So that is the mantra meditation, and it does help you to kind of bring your mind back into where you're supposed to be. Then we have the mindfulness meditation as well. And this type of meditation is based on being mindful or having an increased awareness and acceptance of living in the present moment. So that in itself is self-explanatory, really. But all these things do the same thing. The aim is to give you that inner calm and relaxed state, so that you're in a better frame of mind to face whatever challenges you're facing. The other thing that I wanted to touch on is yoga. So for a lot of us, when we say yoga, we think we're probably thinking stretches, and we're thinking like weird shapes that we have to create to achieve it. And as much as that is also very beneficial, if you have a chance to attend a yoga class, by all means do so. It just doesn't help you physically, but it also helps with your breathing technique, which is important for the overall well-being of you inwardly. And so yoga combines these things, but there is a specific type of yoga that is very meditation orientated. So this yoga, I did have, again, the pleasure of going through it the first time with a sister circle that I attended. And it was very pleasant. It was very relaxing. And if you find a guide that can take you through it and they do it well, it is very rewarding, because it does give you that really, really deep inner sense of calm. And you feel refreshed, or I did, at the end of it. So it is beautiful. It is something you definitely need to try. So as distinct from the yoga where you perform a series of postures and controlled breathing exercises, you have the yoga nidra, which has no stretches or poses, but it instead focuses on relaxing and reaching deep consciousness. So as I say, it is quite deep and it is very relaxing, but you have to allow your mind to go there, and you have to hold your space within yourself for you to be able to experience this. It is a beautiful feeling if you can get to that point, and I would encourage a lot of people to try Yoga Nidra. It's beautiful. It works by tapping into your autonomic nervous system. I can never say that word. That's the system that is in charge of the things your body does automatically, like maintaining your heartbeat, blood pressure, body temperature, digestion and metabolism, things that your body does without you thinking about. So the automatic things that your body does. So Yoga Nidra literally taps into those sides of things, which is why it's an even deeper sense of relaxation when you do manage to attain it. Because sometimes your body may get stuck in a fight or flight mode. And so practices like meditation and Yoga Nidra can help calm your sympathetic nervous system, which when it's stuck in a fight or flight mode for a long time is not great for you. I mean, you get your cortisol levels going through the roof, and then you struggle with things like weight loss or fat loss, and you just generally don't feel great in yourself. You have things like anxiety and panic attacks and all this. So both these things are very, very helpful for you to be able to avoid situations where you get to the extremities of these emotions, to the point where you are actually at breaking point. So it is important to think about this and try and factor it in as you're going along, because this will be very beneficial for you generally. So I think I've covered everything that I really wanted to put across today, and just to keep encouraging you to always try and find ways to help you cope with the day-to-day stresses. A calm mind is a good mind. A calm mind is productive. A calm mind is creative. And a calm mind means a calm body, which means better health generally. What we don't want to do is to live the rest of our lives carrying stress, because that's got a massive impact on our health and on our mental health especially. And so we need to try and find ways to always try and find a way to relax. Try and find a way to relax your mind and your body, because the two work hand in hand as well. We must remember that. and we must also be aware that whatever it is that we do put into our bodies also goes a long way in helping us also achieve a clear mind. So also the diet side comes into it, and the better foods we eat and the better things that we consume, the better it is for us inwardly in terms of feeling better within ourselves. So as well as all these ways that you can apply, like self-help ways, it is also important to understand or to take note that what you put in your body also matters, and a bit of movement goes a long way also in helping not just your aesthetics but also your head. All these things work in conjunction with each other. So let's think about all this and let's go forth with a bit of positivity, knowing that we can handle things even if they get really bad, that we can always take a moment to step back and reflect on what the life situation is and take a deep breath in and tell ourselves that it isn't that bad. And as always, I am going to leave it there for now and just let you know that if you are struggling and if you need somebody to talk to and you feel like a lot is going into your head and you haven't got an outlet, if you can't write it down and if you can't speak to anybody, you can always send me a message. I'm more than happy to listen and to offer any help that I can. So having covered the meditation side of things and just realizing how important it is actually for our mental health, I am going to be doing a guided visualization meditation as a bonus episode. So be on the lookout for that one, and it will just be in amongst all the other episodes. So you can use it as and when you feel like you need to go into a meditative state. It's going to be a short one, so not very long, to allow you a chance to get used to getting into meditation if you're new to it. And if you're not new to it, you can always try it out and let me know what you think. But yeah, it's been wonderful talking about something that's so calming to the nervous system, and it's just even talking about it just makes me feel beautiful inside. So I have really enjoyed this episode, and I will try and cover a bit more on self-help strategies as we go along. But thank you so much for staying with me up until this point, and I really look forward to speaking to you again on the next one. Take care for now. Bye-bye. And just before you go, don't forget to like, follow and subscribe to my channel so you don't ever miss any upcoming episodes. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Carol West Coaching. Are you interested in coaching or joining our team as a client? We offer photo shoot, body transformations, as well as bodybuilding competition prep packages. The team at the Elevate Health and Body Transformation Program are ready and waiting to help you achieve and maintain your dream physique. Whether you're looking to step on stage or just want to do it for yourself, you can send us a DM and we'll get you on the road to achieving a lean and fit physique. Bye for now.